There we go. I think it may be my internet connection. We've got our first big storm here in Rochester and all the snow, and I think it may be affecting my internet a little bit. So I apologize if I'm a little bit slow today. All right. Happy Friday to you, Sonia. I'm excited for the weekend here. All right. We're going to skip Facebook today, and just the people who are on Zoom get to be the lucky few. So we're going to get started. I have a couple of questions that were sent in by email. And then, of course, if you have any questions, we absolutely want to talk to you. So you can drop them in the chat box or you can put them in the Q&A and we will run through them. All right. And Linda would like to know how to join meeting on Facebook. You've never tried it. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, if you are talking about like a group video chat or what exactly you're talking about, Linda. But if you expand a little bit, I'd love to help. It's possible it's just a feature on Facebook I've never tried either, and I'm learning something new from you. All right, so one of the questions that we had this week was all about, well, Amazon and expanded distribution, and if expanded distribution through KDP is the same as having your book available in Ingram through Ingram Spark. The answer here is no, it's not the same, and let me explain why. If you are on KDP and you have accepted one of their free ISBNs, they will offer expanded distribution, and what that is KDP will then take your book with their ISBN and they will upload it themselves to Ingram Spark. They set the terms, they have the distribution rights, and they will upload your book and get your book into Ingram. However, like I said, they control the terms and they don't do this out of the goodness of their heart. They take a little bit off the top when you make a royalty here. So what happens is you actually end up with a lower royalty and no control over your discount or any control over the distribution itself. So what happens is that you cannot reach that 40% discount for bookstores that they need to make a profit, or that retail sales would need if it's a gift shop or a cookbook store or what have you. So you actually cannot ever get low enough that bookstores or retail stores would consider your book. Additionally, what happens is that because you don't have any control, you can't set returnability. You can't make the book returnable, which bookstores really like to see. And so it all goes through KDP. And again, they take a little bit off the top. Your book usually ends up, or not usually, always, if you go through expanded distribution, the end result is a 25% discount on Ingram. Guys, it can get you into libraries. If you're in Ingram at 25% discount, a library is not in the market of reselling to make a profit. So sometimes they are willing to take that 25% discount and you're fine there. But if your goal is bookstores and if your goal is retail stores, going expanded distribution is not the way to go. The other way is that you actually buy your own ISBNs, which is what we recommend, where you actually go to myidentifiers.com and you buy your ISBNs from Bowker. You can buy a set of 10 for, it's right around $300, I believe, and each format of your book gets its own ISBN. So your ebook gets an ISBN, your paperback gets an ISBN. If you have a hardcover, that gets its own ISBN. And if you have an audiobook, that gets a fourth ISBN. And again, you want to have these ISBNs that you have purchased from Bowker, then you own the distribution rights for that. You can go straight to Ingram Spark, sign up for your own account, and then upload there. You can set the terms. So generally, if you're interested in retail sales, you need to set your book at a 55% discount so that the bookstore ends up with a 40% discount after Ingram Spark and Ingram take their cut. And then you can make it returnable. You have so many options and you have control of your book and your distribution. And that's what we really like to see, and that's what we encourage. So while expanded distribution will get your book into Ingram, it is not the same as being directly available through Ingram Spark. So that's a question we actually hear a lot, especially I'm sure many of you know we do bookstore mailings and sales several times a year. And always the question is, but my book's available on Ingram. Why am I not a good fit for bookstore sales? And we have to explain it's because of the discount, and you have no way of increasing that discount as long as you have a KDP ISBN or you're going through expanded distribution. So that was one that came in this week. And Miss Annette would like to know, what's the best way to market an audiobook for the holidays? My novel is not exclusive to Audible. Well, I would ask, is your audiobook just a great gift? Is it holiday inspired? Is it a Christmas book? Um, However it is, I think I'd play to that. If you have a book that right now I'm working with a lovely client who has a book that's a Christmas love story. And so we've really been pushing that hard on Amazon, using some keywords that revolve around all things that people think of when they think Christmas: Hallmark movies and cozy blankets and holiday reads and Christmas love stories, all of those types of things. You can also do social media marketing where you're actually creating ads that talk about that. If you just think your book is a great gift for the holidays, I would create some type of either a video trailer or a graphic or some type of ad on social media that says that this is the perfect gift for your young adult reader for Christmas because, and then have a call to action. Go buy your copy now. Don't wait until it's too close to the holidays. Um, Something like that. Make sure that you are always, always, always providing the link to where you want it to go. Make there a call to action, give there a link, so that people know where to go. And again, Amazon ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, social media ads, you have to get the word out there. I think that's probably the biggest thing that indie authors have a hard time with, is that they go, well, why aren't my books selling? And the answer most times is because no one's heard of your book, or your book is just not getting out there enough. When we look at big publishers, when we're looking at uh, Penguin and Random House, when we're looking at these things, they put money behind it. They have ads going constantly. They're in bookstores. Their books sell because their books are seen. And as indie authors, we have to work even harder to make sure that your books are seen, that they're out in the front field so people can even consider them. And I think that's probably the best and biggest thing that you can do for your book any time of year, but especially around the holidays when it's such a big gift giving occasion. Okay, so Annette's saying there's a holiday theme, but not the whole book is holiday themed. I would play on that. Pull a little excerpt from the book, and put it up there and say, are you ready to get in the holiday mood? Grab this book, and then, have the little bit of the book and talk about it. I think there's a lead in there that you can use. And being an audiobook, I know that's a little bit harder to play as a gift. It's more of something that people would download for themselves. So maybe for you specifically with an audiobook, that's how I would push it. Or you push it together. You say, buy a paperback for a friend and grab the audiobook for yourself because it's that good. Lots of ways to play that in that. All right, another question that we had come in through email was a question about websites. The person who emailed in has a very active website and blog, and it's a travel blog. And they were talking about how they have a Facebook page, and it's just very active. They have lots of responses, a big following, and they're writing a book based on their travels. And their question was, do they need a whole new website for the book? My answer here is absolutely not. If you have a successful and thriving website, I would go ahead and just put a books tab on your website page so that it leads back to your book. Because most of your readers are going to go to your website. If they are following you, it's probably based on your blog. So it makes perfect sense to just add a book tab and have all of the book information and the sale links right there. Another thing that you may consider doing is, if you would like a website that's got the book's name, let's say the book name is traveling with the Johnsons, I don't know. But if it's something like that, then maybe you go out and you do try to purchase the web domain of travelingwiththejohnsons.com, but then you just forward that on to the book page on your main website. Give people one place to go to. Don't make it hard for them, because if you come up with 5 books, do they really want to go to 5 different websites? Absolutely not. You should either put it all under your author name, or in this case, they already had a blog and they're known this way. Do it like that. Same thing for Facebook web pages. Let's not make people follow 5 groups because you have 5 books, or follow 5 um, pages where you have to update them all and exhaust yourself. Put it all in one, especially if it's on the same genre, if it's written by the same people. Now, the one exception may be if you have, for Facebook groups anyway, if you have adult mysteries that are really gory. I mean, they're really on the edge there. And then you also have children's picture books. You probably don't want to do Facebook the same for those. I could see having different things. But even on a website, while you may want a children's site, I would still list those books on your main site. So make sure that you're making it easy for people. People, in general, and myself included, we're kind of a little bit lazy. We want to go to one spot, make one click. If we have to search and if we have to go all over, we get tired and it just fails. And same thing with your ads. If you're running an ad, send them straight to your sale page. Do not send them to your main website and make them hunt for your sales page. People don't try that hard. We have to make it as easy as possible so that they can get to the end result of what we want them to see. Anthony, I see your hand raised again. Feel free to jump in anytime, either on the chat or the Q&A box. All you have to do is type it in, and you are certainly welcome to do that anytime. Terry, if I place my ebook in Amazon Select for 90 days, does Amazon do the advertising? I get the AZ newsletter advertising books from $99 to $2.99 or higher, or do I still need to do my own advertising? If your book goes into Amazon Select, they do show a little preference in the algorithms. You may pop up in some searches, but they're not advertising for you. You still have to do your own advertising. What they do is that if your book is performing really well and it's selling and they're making money off of it, they might boost it a little bit. But even people, and guys, I'm talking people who have on Kindle Unlimited 15,000 reads a day. They're getting them because they're advertising, because Amazon will do a little bit, but it's not their book. They're not making the main profit, and they're not going to help that much. Now, sometimes they will put you in special deals. If your book is selling really well, they'll do special Prime deals or things like that. But ultimately, you have to be marketing your book. I do think Amazon Select for 90 days is amazing for fiction. I think that people are very willing to go and try a download book and maybe read, and you start to read 15 pages and then you're a little bit into the story. You want to know what happens, and you go on to 30 pages and then you finish the book. So I think Amazon Select, especially for fiction, is a great lead-in, but you cannot expect Amazon to market your book for you. They won't do it. Okay, Linda, if you have a blog, how and where do you post it and how do you promote it? Probably everyone knows this but me. Linda, you are not alone. We get this question a lot. So if you have a blog, obviously you want to put your blog out in your newsletter. I would be careful that you're not overloading people. Once a week at most is plenty for a blog. A lot of people do once a week, once every 2 weeks, and it goes out with their newsletter, and I think that's great. Other ways to promote it is to share the link on your social media. And another great way to use your blog is to constantly be building your mailing list. And the way that you can do that is offer people an incentive to sign up and then advertise that incentive. If you have sign up for Rick's newsletter and get a free ebook download of Imposters Anonymous, people are more likely to do that for a free book. Or if you are nonfiction, maybe you have some helpful worksheets that people can do. I've seen people even say, hey, sign up for my newsletter, and every month I do a drawing for a $25 gift card for anyone who opens the newsletter, because you can actually track that in MailChimp if you've got some of the higher services, I believe. So there are certainly ways to do that. Build that newsletter. And that's really the point of a blog too, is to create interest, is to give something of value that people want to follow so that you do have a following when you are selling your book or you're doing something new and exciting and you want people to be a part of it. So absolutely make sure you're sharing on social media, share out to your newsletter. And there's a lot of people that are doing great things by working together. If you are in, let's go with Rick's books, if you are in fiction, well, then get together with 5 other authors who are in the same type of fiction as you in the sense that they probably have the same readership. Work together. Ask if you can guest on their blog or if they will guest on your blog, because then you're kind of sharing audiences. And as we always say, other authors are not your competition, they're your community. And if you can start to build together and kind of share audiences and work together, not only does it make you look pretty cool because you're building off of each other and you're being um, nice people and good people. But on top of that, you are also sharing readers, which we all know if you're a fiction reader, you're not going to stop at one book. It's not going to hurt anybody if you share this reader with someone else who they might enjoy that book as well. So that's a good way to start building and sharing your blog also. So Alan is saying, I have one title on audiobook available everywhere. Is Voices Plus from Find a Way Voices a good deal? I will have 2 more titles available by the end of the year. As far as I know, and I will say that my experience in audiobook is very limited, but I've heard great things about Find a Way Voices. It is the sister company to Draft to Digital, which is the company that we recommend all the time for ebook distribution. So I'm hearing a lot of great things about Find a Way Voices and Voices Plus. So absolutely look into that, Alan. Again, my experience is limited, but we do hear about them quite a bit and they have a nice reputation. So I think it's worth looking into for sure. And Annette's asking, how much do you make per click as an Amazon affiliate and is it worth the effort? So Amazon's affiliate program has changed just recently. It used to be that you could sign up for a affiliate program where you could actually you could create custom links and you share this link for your book, and anyone who bought it would get anyone who bought it from this link, it would give the original person who posted it a kickback. That is no longer available in that sense of Amazon affiliates. However, if you have a popular website or blog, you can sign up to be an Amazon affiliate where you actually put special embedded links in your website, in your blogs, and things like that. I'm sure you've seen it. Like if it's a cooking blog and they say, oh, you can grab this pan here, and it's, it's highlighted and it takes you straight to Amazon. And down at the bottom, it says, this is an affiliate website, blah, blah, blah. And so if you do that, it's, honestly, guys, it's not a ton, but it does add up. If you have a very active blog and you have something where you would have the opportunity to post those types of links often, it does add up because it's a percentage of each sale. And that's how it works. I don't remember what it is, but I want to say it's somewhere between 5 and 15%. Now, when you do this, you actually have to apply. You apply as an Amazon affiliate, you put in your web address, and then Amazon actually goes to your blog. They check it out. They see if you have enough traffic, if you have the type of blogs and information that they think would be able to fit their products in naturally, and then actually sell them. And if they don't think they're going to make enough money off of you, they turn you down. So you can always apply. I think that if you do have an active blog, it just makes sense. If you are going to put out those blogs, if you are going to link to Amazon and tell people that this is a great product to buy anyway, you might as well make some money off of it. For sure, I would look into that. If you are blogging once a month, if you are blogging, even for example, the New Shelves website, we post often. We post blogs. We have a very active website, but we're not leading people to Amazon to go buy anything. It's not like we're linking in books and saying, go buy this book. Or anything along those lines. So we don't have the opportunity to sell things. So we would not be, excuse me, I brought water this time so I didn't kill your eardrums. But we wouldn't have the opportunity to sell like Amazon would want and expect of an affiliate. All right. Jane, when I paid a hybrid company to publish my book and establish a website, should they have made the sidebar links go to my Facebook and LinkedIn pages? I see that the only place the sidebar links go is to the general websites of those sites. Excuse me, you guys. I keep getting a tickle. All right, so Jean, I think what you're saying is that this website leads directly back to their websites because it's profitable for them, but it's not leading to your own website. So what I would recommend is that you, if you're still working with them, if they're still maintaining the website, I absolutely recommend that everyone with a website should have links. If they have active Facebook pages, if they have active Twitter or Instagram, you should have the little logo for the, like the little Facebook logo or the Twitter logo, and it should link directly to your social media. That is part of how you connect and grow your social media. So absolutely, I'm so sorry. Absolutely, you should go and ask them to do that. I'm sure that they will keep their links on there because, again, that's part of how they make profit. That is how they get other people to do their publishing deals and pay them to publish their books. Um, so I don't see that going away, but I think you should get your links in there as well. And I'm fairly certain that if you request it, that they would do it. I don't know why they wouldn't, aside from maybe it's a little bit more work for them. But I do recommend that. I swear I'm not trying to ruin your eardrums here. All right, so I've got one last question. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. So another question that we ran into this week was, what happens when Amazon will not let me advertise my book? We're working with a client who has a book. It's political satire and political information, or even diet stuff, anything with diet or weight loss, anything that has to do with self-image. They're becoming hot topics that social media and Amazon, they're being very wary about. Um, it's something that they're hot button topics that people are stepping lightly around and being careful. So Amazon has a policy currently where they will not in any way promote anything that is seen as political. If there's political jargon in the title, if they see the book cover and it looks political, and I'm not talking something like a fictional Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy book. That's fiction, but anything that may poke too close to current political affairs or anything like that, Amazon has blacklisted. They are not marketing those. So you have to get a little creative with your marketing. One thing that we've recommended, same thing for some erotic titles, if your cover's a little too racy, and it has to be pretty darn racy to be too racy for Amazon, but if it is, or if your title maybe is, you have to get creative and find other ways to market. And so what we've been experimenting with and having some great luck is actually creating graphics that avoid all of that altogether. So instead of your racy cover, maybe you just have a generic picture, and Facebook specifically has them where you can use them for your ads, and maybe you have a picture that is somehow related to romance, or a man and woman holding hands, something like that, and then you do a little excerpt in your book, and you can even say it's an erotic or racy book and click here to read more. Or you say, for a political book, maybe you just have a really good quote from the book, and you say, if you want to laugh out loud comedy, click here. Being creative and drawing people in based on other things is actually turning, not only drawing in a different audience, but very effective in going around the things that you're not allowed to advertise on Amazon and Facebook and Twitter and all of those. So if you get blacklisted from Amazon ads or Facebook ads or something like that, don't give up. Just get creative, find ways around that. Because as I just said, if people don't know about your book, they can't buy your book. So it's important that you get it out there, and it's important that if there's a roadblock, find a way around it. There's almost always a way around it. So make sure that you don't give up it. And of course, if you have questions, if you want ideas, feel free to email us. I know that we are on Free Advice Friday every Friday, but we also do accept questions throughout the week if you happen to think of them and don't want to forget, or if maybe you aren't available on Fridays but you still want to put in your question, you can email info at newshelves.com, and we answer those on Friday. And if we answer your questions, I try my very best to make sure we get a playback link of the video to you so that you can actually see the answer. All right, Miss Molly's asking, how much does a professional looking book cover run? I'm in the process of hiring someone. That's a loaded question, Molly. Book covers can run as inexpensive as $300 and as expensive of upwards of $3,000. It certainly does depend on the genre. It depends on um, a lot of things. If you have let's say you have a fiction novel, or a romance, something where you are probably going to be cranking out a book every 6 months or every year, and you have a lot coming up, you probably don't want to invest $3,000 in a cover. It makes no sense. However, $300 to $500 does make sense, and you can find those people on Fiverr. You can find them on 99 Designs. Go and look at the covers that you like and see if the copyright gives credit to the cover designer, and then go look them up. Um, you don't have to pay thousands for a good cover, but I would expect to pay at least $300 to $500 for a good cover that is workable. And it's very important that you look at the current trends. That a designer, their job is to take your idea and make it real, to give you concepts, but it's ultimately your job to be looking at it as a reader and stepping back and make sure that you're not getting too attached to the art or things like that, so that your title doesn't show. And I always say, if you have trusted friends that you trust to give you an honest opinion, not a, oh yeah, it looks great, don't ask your mom, ask your sister who doesn't like you very much, and do it that way, and ask for honest opinions, because that will make your book cover better. I can't tell you how many times we've worked with clients who say, isn't this a great book cover? And I look at it and I go, no. And unfortunately, people had just been telling them yes because they didn't want to hurt their feelings, but that's not going to help. So again, designers are great. A good designer will be able to lead you in the right direction, but only you can really make those final decisions when you're looking at a cover. But $300 to $500, absolutely. If you're doing fiction, I know that just recently I've talked to Kathy over at Avalon Graphics, and she's got some great covers. And always look at the work when you are looking at a designer. Not only do you want to get concepts for them, which you should expect to pay for the concepts, but also look at their past work and see if what they have produced is something that you like and it's kind of in line with what you wanted for your own book. What kind of attractive freebie, other than chapter excerpts, can a fiction writer offer to readers in exchange for joining mailing list? I love this question. Number one, chapter excerpts, they're not very popular anymore. No one, I won't say no one, not many people are going to give up their email address for a couple chapters in a book. They're either just going to go buy the book, or they're going to just say, nah, not worth my time, because a couple of chapters, it's not what it used to be. Let's put it that way. So what I would actually recommend is that you give them something else. If it's a fiction book, let's say you have a popular fiction series, and maybe you have a beautifully illustrated map that takes you through places through the series if it's fantasy, and that's a download. Or you offer people, like I said, a lot of people will do drawings where it's not an immediate freebie, but it's a chance to win something, whether it be a gift card, signed copies of the book, a meeting with the author. Let's see. I would try to, depending on your book, kind of play off of that. I know you have holiday themes, so maybe people can enter to win a Christmas raffle basket, Or you can even offer, if maybe you have a cookbook, you can offer recipes not in the book. Or if you have a fictional book, and in the book there is a scene where the whole family's making cookies, blah blah blah, maybe you offer a beautiful free PDF download of the sugar cookie, the Johnson's famous family sugar cookie recipe from the book. Tie it in and give them something that they probably will not only want, but that they will use. Um, if you're nonfiction and you have a tax book, maybe you have your top 10 tax tips. Maybe you have worksheets from the book. You can really get creative with it, but think about what you would want if you were getting something free. If it's not enticing to you, if you wouldn't sign up for a mailing list based on what you're offering, you probably need to dig a little deeper. A lot of people with fiction books will give away a novella, which is just a shorter offshoot story, usually of a book. Maybe they have an older book, and so again, going back to a series, if you have a series of 5 books, maybe they can download the whole first book free if they sign up for your newsletter. So many different things that you can work out and think of for that. With your recent comment about book covers, if I decided to change my book cover on an already published book, do I need to use another ISBN number? Not necessarily. If you are changing your book cover, again, your title must stay the same. But if you are just changing your book cover, you don't have to do a new ISBN. However, if you are updating your book cover, it looks totally different. Your title is still staying the same, but your book is different. Maybe you're doing a couple updates inside. And let's say your book is already, I don't know, 2 years old, 3 years old, maybe it's 10 years old. It's a great time to do a second edition and make it fresh. I wouldn't recommend just slapping a new cover on and doing a new ISBN and calling it a second edition. But if you have any updates, if you are updating the trim size, or if you are you're doing a whole new chapter, totally new, different cover, as long as you keep the same title and it's a second edition, if you put it back up on Amazon through KDP, you can actually merge those and you keep all of your old reviews, so you don't lose anything, but you have a fresh new book with a new copyright date and a new pub date. So that's a good thing to think about. Now, maybe let's say that you put out a book in April of 2019 and you just realize your cover is not the best. Same book, everything's the same, but you kind of need to update your cover because now that you're digging into things, you're realizing that the cover you chose is not up to par with what you want your brand to be. So you update your cover. In that case, I would say if you've done it this year, put the new cover on it, maybe announce that your book has a new look, but there's no need to do a new ISBN number. So it really depends on your personal situation and how much work and effort you're willing to put into the book aside from just a new cover. And on that note, sometimes there have been times where someone says, well, I like the concept of my cover, but I had I don't know, a high school student design it, and it's not what I wished it would be. It's a great concept, but it's not what I want. You can take that concept and take it to another designer and ask if they have ideas on creating a new work with the same theme or the same design. Or maybe you go back to the original designer, depending on their skill level and your relationship with them, and say, I really just kind of want to change some things up. And you work it that way. So you can always choose to improve upon the cover that you have or go to a new cover completely. Depending on the book is what my recommendation would be. Sometimes people have good bones and the cover needs a little bit of love, and sometimes it's just a bad cover. All right. If you have a drawing or a contest, do you distribute the prize when someone wins? Or how do you distribute? So what I would say for this, if you were doing a contest, so for one, this very popular author, and I follow their newsletter, what this person does is they do a drawing for a $25 e-gift card to Amazon every month. And the way that it works, it's really quite clever, is that they have a $25 giveaway to anyone who opens their newsletter. So sign up for my newsletter and you have a chance to win $25. So anyone who signs up in a month has the chance to win, but they can only win if they open the newsletter, because you can track that. So again, it's also, it says right in the, when you do a MailChimp mailing, you can do like a subject line, and I'm sure it's not just MailChimp, but you can do a subject line, and then there's a subheading that shows up, and in it every single time it says open for your chance to win a $25 gift card. So people not only have to open to be entered to win the gift card every month, but they have to open the next month's newsletter to see who won, because it's on the very bottom. So and so, Keri Barnum won the newsletter gift card for the month of October. Email back to claim your winning, your prize, I'm sorry. And then what they do is they just go right on to Amazon and they buy an e-gift card, and you send it out to their email address, and then they can claim it that way. If you're doing something that's more physical, if you're giving away books or things like that, I think it's very important that you set boundaries. Enter your chance to win 3 signed books by Rick Lenz must be in the US or Canada to claim. Make sure that you're looking not only at the cost of the prize, but if you have something that has to ship, you need to make sure that you're able to ship it, that it's not going to cost you $70 to ship it, overseas. So that you're putting parameters on that, and that needs to be clearly stated. Also, of course, any rules as far as like in New York, you cannot do a purchase to win. You cannot require people to purchase anything to win or to enter. So make sure you look up your state rules, your local rules, as far as ages and all of that. But things are probably the easiest to do. And while if someone loves you, if they know your books, if they follow you, let's say you're a really big author, if you are Mary Higgins Clark or Nora Roberts, and Nora Roberts does a big giveaway and it says enter to win a signed copy of Nora's favorite 3 books, people are probably going to enter because she's well known. However, if you're not super well known, giving away your own books may not be that big of a draw. And that's why sometimes gift cards and things are a good way to get a new audience that can then start to fall in love with you, that can start to follow you, and you build that relationship there. After a print book is copy proofed, I then have the ebook conversion completed. Is it necessary to also copy proof the ebook again before releasing it? Yes, I would say that this you absolutely need to read through. More often than not, what happens is not that you end up with like spelling errors or things like that, but formatting errors. I can't tell you how many times when a book is turned from a PDF and it's turned into an ebook, it will do funky formatting, that kind of thing. So I don't think that you need to do a slow line by line edit or anything like that, but you absolutely want a quick read through for proofing, to make sure that nothing weird happened in your formatting, or that maybe a whole chunk of the book was taken out and you didn't realize it. Absolutely. And I don't think absolutely you can hire a proofer to do that. You can also do it yourself, but you do have to be committed to looking at it with fresh eyes and actually reading through the book, or at least skimming through. But I do think that's something that you need to look at, mostly for formatting. And I will say I did this just recently for a client, and we actually had to send it back 3 times, I think, for different formatting things. Where I mean, it stopped in the middle of a chapter and skipped and had 3 blank pages and added another page like 3 pages later. It was really weird. And sometimes, I mean, it's working on computers, and certainly we're all human. We make mistakes, and it could have been a human mistake, but also working with computers and programs, sometimes they glitch. So I think it's important to do a quick proofread through. How do I advertise in England, Australia, or other Amazon sites if I did not sign up or select extended distribution? If you are doing Amazon, all you have to do, if you are the publisher, if you have your book and you are on KDP because you uploaded your book to KDP, when you log into KDP and you go to your bookshelf, you find the book you want, and on the right hand side is a little gray button that says promote and advertise. If you click on that, it takes you to a landing page for Amazon Marketing Services. This is where you can promote your book. And it's fairly new, I believe, but when you go to that, in the bottom right corner, it says for sponsored ads, which is what we recommend, and there's a drop down, and it gives the options for Amazon. I want to say maybe it's Canada, UK, and India. But there is a drop down for several different Amazon marketplaces where you can run ads through. So I would check that out for sure if you're looking for Amazon ads specifically. Because it's a handy little thing and you can go straight through KDP to do that. If you are not the publisher, you generally have to ask your publisher to run ads because they own the book, or someone who has a consignment account. That's what New Shelves runs ads from. We actually have a consignment account. But of course, then you're paying someone else not only for the ads, which costs money, but then you're paying for the expertise and the time to set those up. So that's a consideration. My nonfiction book is a memoir type of my personal experiences. Is it okay to do an audiobook with my own voice? Jean, I think that if you are trying to collect my thoughts in a cohesive way. If you are a good reader in the sense that if you are able to read not robotically, if you can put expression and emotion, and if you have a voice that people like to listen to, go for it. A lot of people do this. John Acuff reads his own books. Trying to think of a couple others. I mean, there's a lot of memoirs, especially if they're celebrities, they will read their own audiobooks. And so you can absolutely do that. But I think that it's important that you're honest with yourself about your own abilities and skills. So if you can record yourself reading and have, not only listen to it yourself, but have other people listen to it and say that it's great, go for it. I think that's a great thing to do. But if not, probably not. I know for myself personally, when I read out loud, I sound a little bit like a second grader because I'm not an out loud reader. I would not be great at audiobooks. However, Amy, she's amazing. So it depends on your skill set. And it sounds like you've been told that you have that. So I say give it a try. Absolutely. I think that adds a fun little flair when you are the one reading your own memoir also. So super fun. All right, guys, we have gone through all of the questions. I think we've hit on everything. If you have any additional questions, put them in the chat box or the Q&A. We'll give it about 2 more minutes and then we'll close out if we don't have any questions. Again, I am Keri Barnum. I am the marketing director for New Shelves Books, and I'm filling in for Amy because Amy is traveling to the New England Crime Bake today. She's giving a session there, so she's out about living the fun life of speaking to authors and all of that. So it's been really fun, you guys. Thank you for joining me. Come back next Friday and we will do Free Advice Friday again. And if you have questions again and you have questions that you would like to cover and you may not be able to make it or you don't want to forget, email them in, info@newshelves.com. And it looks like we have one more question in, so let's answer that and then we'll go. Annette would like to know, what are the most important tabs on an author website? An author website, you obviously excuse me, would like a homepage which has, basic information. You want an author tab, and this author tab should have your bio, it should have your picture, it should have, the important stuff about you, because people want to know the authors they're reading about. If you have nonfiction, tell them why you're qualified to write the book that you did. And then you absolutely need a book tab. Whether you have 1 book or 5 books, you need a book tab so people can easily go to this website and go, oh, look, here's the book. Here's where I buy the book. It should be very cut and dried. A media page is always smart, where you actually have any press releases where people can see them in a PDF format. If you have a marketing page, people can download that. If you have a headshot, anything that if you were to guest on a blog or if you were to ask to be speaking anywhere, they could just go in and download it really quickly. And then there should be a contact page. A contact page certainly have where people can just send in questions or emails right there. But guys, Give them your email address, give them the links to your Facebook and your Instagram, make it easy for people to get in touch with you. And so I think those are really important things to have for sure. Make sure that you link out to your books, because that's the whole point of the website. It's a platform and a building page. And absolutely have something that pops up with a newsletter offer. Download my newsletter now to get this, super special cookie recipe or whatever. If you are going to be a consistent blogger, have a blog page. Here's the thing, the keyword, consistent. And I don't care if that consistency is once a month, if it's once a week, but if it's not more, or at least once a month, guys, skip it. It's better to not have a blog than have a blog that's up that hasn't been posted to for 3 years. That makes it look like your site is dead, like you've disappeared and you just don't care. So if you're going to blog, great. It's not for everybody. Some people just can't commit to it. Some people don't like it. But if you have something to share that is going to entice people or interact with people or offer value, go for it. Just make sure that you're consistent with whatever you choose. And there's one more question. Is there a good example of a marketing plan posted somewhere? The thing with a marketing plan is that I am absolutely sure that you can find some basic marketing checklists and things. I believe they're up on the New Shelves website. If you go to the shop button, there's a bunch of stuff actually offered for free. So it's in our shopping area, but you put it in your cart and it's free. You put in your email address, which we collect, and then you get to download all these things for free. So there's lots of good resources there. But the thing about a good marketing plan is it will be specific for your book. What works for Alan's book, he's got a new romance coming up, Summer Thunder. What's good for his book is not going to be great for a nonfiction book on exercise. So it's important that you take the bones of a marketing plan and you flesh it out for your book and you make it fit for what your purposes are. But definitely check out the New Shelves website, newshelves.com, and check out all the free resources in our shop. All right. I think we're done for today. Thank you again for joining me, Keri Barnum. And I believe Amy will be back next week. Send in those questions, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, guys.